Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Pet Sematary, the 1989 80s adaptation of a Stephen King novel that is been turned into a horror classic in my view. Now, when I say it's a horror classic, let me say this. I think it is a classic in horror specifically. This is not a movie that is perfectly made. There are flaws in it, okay? But there are elements of it that are just so awesome and stick with you and are unforgettable and creepy and scary and messed up and will give you nightmares and freak you right out, that it becomes a classic despite its downfalls. Now, the downfalls of this movie to me are major deals, okay? First off, the plot of the story really quickly is basically this family moves into a new town, and unfortunately pretty quickly after they move there in Maine, the daughter, the wife and the kids go off on a trip, and while they're gone, their cat gets killed, and the father doesn't want to deal with the daughter being so upset because of his cat being killed, and he finds out from a neighbor that there's this old cemetery that's behind the pet cemetery, where if you go and bury something there, if it was alive, it'll come back to life. And so they go and they bury the cat, and by the time the kids come home, everything is fine with the cat, or at least it seems that way. Turns out that when the creatures come back, they're an evil shadow of what they used to be. So the cat that used to be this loving creature that was always wanting to get pet and affection, all is now, very antagonistic, is hissing all the time, is happy to scratch, but the people just think it's gone through a personality change and doesn't think anything of it. Well, a little while later, unfortunately, the son gets hit by a truck, and so the father decides that he's going to go and bury the son in the same cemetery, even though he knows that it's going to come back as an evil shadow of its former self, and so on and so forth. The excrement hits the fan from there. Now, the problems with the movie are this: that main family is 4 people: father, mother, daughter, son. Of that group, I dislike 3. I don't like the father. I think his performance is very wooden. He has a couple of halfway decent moments, but he's hard to empathize with. He's just I don't think his performance is very good at all. Both kids to me are annoying as all get out, and I don't blame the children who played the roles, because I think that the problem here has got to be direction, because either that or they did a really bad job of casting, but both of them are so trying so hard throughout most of the movie to be cute, and it just comes off as like saccharine and sticky sweet, and it comes off like people trying to be cute, and they're, as a result, they don't feel cute, they feel annoying, and I don't like either of them. And then when the son comes back as his kind of dark evil self, he's a lot better, and I think it's because he's given up on trying to be cute, and that's a pretty big issue, right? You have you have a family at the core of a film, and me, a guy who's telling you that this movie's classic and he really enjoys it, doesn't like 3 of them. So how could I possibly like it so much? Well, first off, the mother, the wife, is actually pretty great in the movie, in my opinion. I think she's by far the character that you can empathize with the most, and is likable. And even though she spends a lot of the movie kind of away from the main action of the film, she's got these scenes where she's having these premonitions and stuff like that are really affecting and great. So she's really good. But other than that, first off, there's another character, Judd, who is the neighbor who tells him about the cemetery. The guy who plays him, Fred Gwynne, does a killer job. He's so likable, and he's the guy who I think anybody would wish they were growing up on a street with him down the road, where he'd be coming out, he'd be riding your bike down the street, and he'd be like, "Hey Billy," or "Hey Jane," or what have you. He's just so likable. He's somebody you want to protect. You feel great about him throughout. He just does a great job. His accent's awesome, and I don't know if that's just his actual voice, but for a character that's supposed to be from Maine, it just works to perfection. A just great character. And then there are moments in this movie that are incredible. Okay, the first off involves the Judd character that I was just talking about. Now, I'm not going to say what exactly happens because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who checks out this movie for the first time, because there is a moment that you don't, if you don't know what's coming, and when it happens, it's just. And I'm guessing if you've seen this movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. But in case you don't, I'm gonna just say that it involves a tendon on his body, and oh man, every time I see it, it just makes me cringe. And even thinking about it now, I'm just like, oh. And then there's a moment early on where this student who's been killed appears to the father and is talking to him. And I know it sounds goofy, but it totally works in the movie. And the guy who plays him does a great job. And it's just this really memorable scene. You have him there, and he's wearing a runner's outfit. And he's got covered in blood. The makeup effect is great. The way that the scene is written is just stupendous. I just absolutely love it. And then there's two other moments in this movie that are so creepy in my view. The first off involves Judd tells the father a story about somebody else who buried a person there, and when that talks about what happens to that person when he comes back, and it's not a boy like his son. It's not a youngster. It's an older child of somebody who did that. And that scene, it's amazing because it doesn't really show you much of anything. Like, you're not seeing him going around on like some kind of murder spree or anything like that, but the way it's done, the way it hints at what he's done, and the way it shows him, and the transformation of his look, it's just super creepy and awesome. And then the moment of this movie that to this day sticks with me by far the most, even more than what I talked about earlier with the tendon, is the mother's got a sister who, unfortunately, she suffers from spinal meningitis. Now, today, if a character was written to the way her character is written, it probably wouldn't be taken very well. But the whole point of her character, the moments with her character, is basically you see the mother looking back on how she treated her because she was scared of her, because she was this kind of very stick thin and bent over and figure, and she didn't understand what she was going through, and she was scared of her, right? And she talks about it and how she feels guilty about that. But then later in this movie, there's a moment where it's like the mother's nightmare, and Zelda, the sister, is kind of transformed into a more monstrous version, and it's shot in this really kind of like fun house mirror kind of fashion that makes her even like more terrifying. And the way she's like kind of like bent over, and like just the physicality of the performance, by no means do I mean to say that people with spinal meningitis are scary, but the way that they do it in this movie, I saw this movie as a kid, it still freaks me out to this day. And it's just so memorable and so stupendous. This movie is a collection of scenes that are all just incredible and unforgettable, and just for that alone, totally worth a view in my opinion. So those are my thoughts on Pet Sematary. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. Let me know if you think I'm completely off base, if you liked the performances of the three family members that I don't, what have you. Please hit that like button too. It does awesome things for my channel. And subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm putting out a new video. I love talking to you guys about movies, and I'll make it so that you guys are aware and you can come check out what I've put up next. And that would just be so amazing, and I'd be endlessly appreciative. Other than that, have yourself a nice day.